Welcome to Rauta's Reviews. This time it's all about Russian black metal. This is actually a one-man project called In Tenebriz, which is here by two albums for a so-called dual review. Now the thing is, I actually got this album I think already in 2018. Might be, or 2019, I'm not really sure anymore. And this one is fresh from the oven 2020 release. And since this was or has been waiting for its time in the queue for so long time, I decided to why not to review them both at the same time. To save your time, save my time, and give you a little bit of indication of what's going on. Let's start with this album from 2018, Winternight Poetry. I think it's the 10th album by this one-man band or project. Here is the guy himself. And as you can see, this was already done in 2017. And it's kind of weird that the lyrics are Russian while the album name as well as the song titles are all in English. But hey, I'm not here to judge, just wondering around what's going on. As you can see, blue is the theme of this album, and I guess it's partially, more or less, because of this winter theme, this coldness, this grimness, color of ice, frozen water as we know it. So here it is, released by More Hate Productions as well as Symbol of Domination, kind of a joint corporation. And a couple of years later came out this 12th album called Bitter Wine of Summer. So if the theme was winter and coldness in that, this is very much the opposite, going all the way to summer with more colorful topics. And here you can see also these lyrics are in Russian, yet the song titles are still in English. So very colorful, very opposite theme, but nevertheless these are more or less the same genre, which could be, I guess, described as doom black. I think it's mostly kind of a melodic doom, but the black metal is very essential part of the deal. Now, interesting thing is, now that it is released by Grim Distribution, which is then again a kind of a subsidiary label of system. I don't know what I even say. Symbol of Domination, I mean. And there's also this third label called Satanath, which is all more or less operated by the same people. And it's interesting, it has changed the label, but still kind of like the same thing. But I guess it's only fitting considering that the band has got a little bit of changes over time. Anyway, here's the band's Metal Archive site to give you a little bit of basic information before we go into more deeper into these albums. And as you can see, this is already founded in 2005, and there is quite a few releases if you really browse this list from up to down. And you can see there are lots of full-length albums, not to mention EPs and splits and whatever. So very, very active project. But then again, when you have only one guy operating everything, it's kind of like you don't have the extra critique from your colleagues to say, don't do that, don't use that riff and all that stuff. But here it is, Wolfir doing everything here. And meanwhile, this is very refreshing considering that this is not a band that sounds like, okay, there's some crappy drum machine used or those riffs are not even well played, because I mean, that would be me doing that kind of stuff, and that's why I don't do that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's so often when you have only one guy and everything is just like a compromise because you have maybe good skill set with one instrument and the others are just like being dragging behind. Anyway, not going to comment more than that about this skill set or whatnot because it's decent level, definitely good level if you will. But here's the Winternight Poetry. 7 tracks, almost 40 minutes, and they all are, well, the same titles. And this is of winter theme. Now, this is much like combining some Burzum synths with those melodic doom riffs and of course slow tempo, which is kind of a given when you're talking about doom here. It's melodic but not too catchy really. And when I say Burzum kind of synths, I mean especially the 1990s style. So-called prison albums by Burzum are often something that came to my mind when I was listening to this, but also these earlier albums like these Lucetaros and Philosophem. So there's something very Berzumisk-like stuff, but only when we're talking about keyboards. Now, in total style, this is a rather different. Even though Berzum is kind of a slow-paced as well, the overall atmosphere is very different. This is some parts kind of a melancholic, which is kind of nice, but I don't know, something is missing making this very magical. It's very easy to listen to and all that stuff, but nothing really memorable in a way. So it kind of feels like there's lots of potential to be even better, but it's like missing something magical. Now on the other hand, if we take a look at Bitter Wine of Summer, it's pretty much the same idea. Some 41 minutes, so almost the same, 8 tracks. And it's also melodic. It's also doomy and kind of a black metallic. But this black metal essence is mostly brought upon with these kind of a screamy, shrieky kind of vocals. They are very, very dry and very monotone in nature and not very good at that. Not bad, because I mean the vocalist has kind of a decent voice, but it's something that I would definitely kick in the butt to say, like, you need to put out some more energy, some more passion, some more demonic possession. Now it's more like, oh, I'm just gonna do these screamy vocals like this, and that's it, I'm not gonna do anything else here. Okay, it's done. So that's missing this kind of a passion. And while it's being, once again, more melodic than the other album, it's still, once again, like, you have those magical riffs here and there. Like really good parts here and there. But most of all, it's just something that goes way too much on the background. And it's there. Now, on this album, you don't hear that much synths. I'm not actually sure if there are any synths. I didn't really register if they were happening. But definitely, if there are some, way less than on the other album. So they are quite different, even if it's more slow tempo and the vocals are the same. And mentioning about the production, well, it's very decent in both albums. Very easy to listen to, but also very hard to get really enthusiastic about this one. So it's a kind of an interesting band because you really don't hear these kind of black doom kind of a combos with these kind of melodic riffs and whatever. But to be honest, I think there's a way more potential laying around underneath the surface. And it's not just out there to, convince the whole world that this is one of the best bands to come from Russia. An interesting case, nevertheless. So in case you find intrigued by this one, go check out the link. I have provided you the link so you can just quickly and easily listen to the music and figure out whether or not this is your cup of tea. Should be limited to 500 copies or so. So in case you just happen to be a fan of the band, click and go shopping for some Russian Doom Black. And in case it's not your cup of tea, well, can't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, should you have any comments or opinions, put them on the comments box below and I will get back to you. Meanwhile, take care of yourself and stay safe.